everybody, I'm April, and welcome to my house for speech night. This is an informative speech on something that I've accomplished in my life. Imagine that one day you're at work on a Friday, and it's just been a really exhausting, trying week. Friday, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I get to go home and enjoy my weekend. And you suddenly realize that you can't do anything fun this weekend. You'll be working your side hustle to help pay the bills. It crosses your mind to call off, but in the grand scheme of things, you can't because those bills won't pay themselves. You have no choice. So, you're sitting in your office and you look at your clock on the wall, seconds winding down, and you think to yourself, how long am I going to be in this rat race of this 9 to 5? Is there something more out there? This was me about 2 years ago. I was working full-time, I was going to school full-time, and I had a side hustle to help pay the bills. Every time I moved, I had dollar signs in my mind. Whether it was payday or pay gone. I never knew how much that could really attribute to how run down I was feeling all the time. One day I was at home in a brand new apartment with my new girlfriend, and a Susie Orman commercial came on TV. Susie Orman is a guru in personal finance, and she was advertising a new program where you could learn how to make your money work for you. So as I'm getting ready to get up and do something, I hear this, and I think to myself, now that's an idea I've never heard of before. So I sat down and I kind of watched. Brandy's at the other end of the couch watching me. And at the end of the commercial, Brandy asked me how I felt about what I'd just seen. Well, to be honest, I've never seen anything like that. It's a great idea in theory, making your money work for you. But I've never heard of anyone, and I don't know anyone who does that. Everyone has a job. Everyone has debt. Everyone has bills. So, after that, Brandy looked at me, and she told me that she could help me learn how to manage my money and make it work for me, because she'd been doing it all her life. Her mom was a great teacher. I was intrigued, and I jumped in head first. I haven't looked back since. I was ready to learn how to make my money behave and get my financial state cleaned up. In my early beginnings, money was taboo for me. My mother and my grandmother raised me, and they didn't believe finances were something children needed to worry about. So as I grew up, I saw them taking care of their own finances late at night, scattered piles of bills or subscriptions, whatever happened to lay around that needed attention. They conquered this once a month between the two of them. And when I would ask questions or ask to sit in, I was always told, no, this isn't something for children to worry about. So after so many years of not having questions answered, I gave up asking them. As I grew up further, I got my first job working as a dishwasher in a local restaurant. I was paid under the table because I was only 14 at the time. So, when payday would come around, I was paid in cash every week. I didn't know what to do with it. I'd never seen that much money before. I was never able to hold on to that much money before. So for my first 2 weeks there, I stuffed all that money away, and I would look at it almost every hour on the hour, wondering, what am I going to do with this? I'm only 14. I have no worries. So I wanted to have fun. I did eventually save up enough for a car and got all of that running. Moved out, got my own apartment, had my own bills. I was learning how to adult for the first time. And I started wondering how many kids start out with good intentions about credit cards. Because at 18, they shuffle into you like it's the end of the world. Everyone needs credit. You have to build your credit, finances. If you want to get a house someday, you've got to have credit. So I did what any 18-year-old would do. I signed up for every piece of mail that came to my door. And that was a huge mistake where it all started. So, fast forward 6 years. Fast forward one giant move, 3 hours away from home. And I've got my apartment down here, brand new job, making good money. And I'm working paycheck to paycheck still. I have 12 credit cards. All of them are maxed out. Medical bills that were not getting paid. So I sat around and looked at my life, and I started feeling the pressures. I started thinking, how do I fix this? And I met Brandy. Brandy introduced me to financial experts, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, Warren Buffett. She introduced me to their books, which I read, and I became so hungry for that personal knowledge on how to fix this. I read everything I could get my hands on. So I started following Dave Ramsey's baby steps, which are, the first one is to save $1,000 as quickly as you can. The second step is to list all of your debts from smallest to largest regardless of interest rate and pay them off smallest to largest as fast as you can. Step 3 is to save 3 to 6 months of sustainability after you complete steps 1 and 2. Step 4 is to start saving 15% of every paycheck you take home from now until the end of forever. And save that for retirement. Step 5 is start saving for college, either for you or your children. 6 is to pay off your mortgage as fast as you can. Could you imagine one day without a mortgage and having all that money to do with whatever? It's pretty intriguing. The final step, step 7, says to sit back and let your money work for you. Now what this means is all that investing you've done over the years has set aside. It's grown from compound interest. Your hundreds have turned into thousands, have turned into millions, if you do it properly and you do it with care throughout the years. It's intense making life choices like this. But when you start sitting back wondering, when am I going to be done with what I'm doing? Maybe forever isn't that long. I was able to jump in with everyone's support and get a hold of everything. Mind you, I'm still in baby step 2 where I'm paying off all of my debts. Thank you, student loans. And, one day I plan on retiring a millionaire. From all of this, the one thing that I've learned is to have hope. Have hope that it will be over at some point. Have hope in what you're doing, and don't let it go. So, thank you again for coming to my speech night. Goodbye.